Hey everyone, look what we're sewing today. Yeah, so we're gonna start with these two flat pieces go down first, and then we are going to create the strap connectors over that. That goes on second. Not that hard, really. It looks a lot harder than it is. The most difficult part is just placement, and actually the most difficult part is getting it stitched close to that edge right there. And then of course the placement. I think in the next video, I'm going to share with you two-sided strap handles. So yeah, let's get going. Okay, what I have here are my pieces prepped. I'm going to go through what we prepped first before I do any sewing. I've got the front and the back pieces, and I have cut the piece that we put under first, and this is the piece we're going to sew down first. I do flat strips. I'm not turning these under, and these are cut at 1.5 inches, all 4 of them. All right. This is the trick, and this is what makes them look really, to me, very professional. Do not stitch like a 1/8 of an inch. You want it right along the edge. You're gonna want it a 1/16 of an inch, like right along the edge. I mean, and it has to be really even, and that's what took me so long. Okay, I'm gonna attempt to do this in front of you. I don't know if I can get it to focus right, but that's the big thing. So first thing I do is I cut all my strips, cut out the pattern pieces, cut these strips. I cut these as one long one and then cut them in half. These are each 1.5 inches. Then you're gonna cut these are the strap connectors that connect. This is gonna, here, let me show you. This is going to connect to your strap connectors for the straps. So, and of course, there we go. So this will be the next step after these get sewn down. These get sewn down on top, like so. Okay. So we'll be doing some measuring next to show you that step. But the prep part is these are cut the length here. I make them longer. You notice how I make everything longer, so I got room to play with. These are cut at 2 inches. All right, I've already folded these. Then I draw a line down the center. I just use pencil. I use my double-sided tape, all right down the center. Take that off. Make sure you can see me here, and then we fold this up along the line. Evenly, Renee. Fold one side. This is the same principle you use for making straps. I am making double-sided straps on this as well, and I will be filming that video also. So, and you want to push, you see how I'm pushing this into the other? Pushing it into there. Now, I'm going to show you, there's 2 types of tools you can use to flatten this. This is too bulky just to lay on here, in my opinion. This is a craft roller, Violet Craft. You can use these are fairly inexpensive. It's got some debris on it. Fairly inexpensive. If you use this to roll it, you got to use some muscle, okay? I would take it on one side, flip it over, and roll it again. The object is to get these creases as flat as possible, okay? Or you can purchase a heavy one through a leather company like Tandy, and And again, you just roll this flat. You want these folds to be as flat as possible. And that's what we do. It also helps the double-sided tape to get to adhere. Okay? So that is what I do, and I get them all prepped. Okay? So these we set aside for now. We're not going to be doing this. All right. Get this out of the way. All right. So the next step is, why is this sticking? Okay, so then the next step is to, I have marked, these are 4.5 inches apart between here and here. I don't know if you can see that. Between here and here on each side, they're 4.5 inches apart, okay? So I take from the center, I've notched out the center. So I take 2 1/4 and 2 1/4. And then at the bottom, same thing, 2 1/4 and 2 1/4. Then I take a ruler and a friction pen and I just do some markings along here so I have lines on each side so that I make sure it's even. And then I take the tape off the strip like so. And I carefully place it right along that friction line. You can cover it, but don't go far over it because you want it to be 4.5 inches space between the other one. And you don't want it on the other piece. Let's get that out of the way. Okay, let's do it on the other side so you can see. All right, again, right on that ink line. And there we go. Double check, always measure. So we take this, 4.5. That is not 4.5. So I don't know what happened, so we're gonna look this up. This is why we measure, measure, measure. There's 4.5. 4.5, okay, that's good. And 4.5, see? That one little thing. So now it's even. All right, there's the top, there's the bottom. 4.5, and it's a little bit off up here. And 4.5. 4.5. And a little bit off in the bottom. Bring this over just a tad. Beautiful. Okay, so we got the placement for all these. The next step now is going to be stitching right along each side. I have got Gutermann Mara 70 thread in this gold color. I did not want to do a contrast. I wanted it to tie in. I didn't want to draw attention if it was imperfect in the slightest. I want it to be right razor sharp along this edge, but I happen to have this Gutermann thread. And yes, I can use Gutermann thread on my Juki. I've been using it forever since I got the machine. And I haven't had to fool with the tension at all. I can go from Gutermann to bonded poly 69, Tex 69. With this machine is just magical. That's all I can say. So that's what I'm going to do next. I am going to slowly stitch, and I do mean very slowly. I go like one freaking stitch at a time to get this so close. Now, I have not done it with this regular foot yet. I've done it on my Thor 1341, my cylinder arm, with the edge foot, the 1/8 inch edge foot, but I haven't done this one. So I'm gonna get it set up and I'm gonna see how I do. Let's just keep our fingers crossed. It's always good to have extra material just in case you really screw things up. Not that I've ever done that. So anyway, I'll be back, and I'm going to see if I can't get the camera to get close enough so you can see how I'm doing this. Okay, I'm taking you with me here. I have to go very slow indeed. I have watched some videos from the factories of the high-end bags, and they go just as slow. There's no guarantee that I'll get it right, but at least I have more control. And I can see where the needle's landing. Keep your fingers crossed. And then when I get to the bottom, I'm just gonna go straight across here. Let's lift this up and see how I did. Yeah, that's what I like. Let's see if you can't see. I don't know if you can see, but I did it. Yeah, so that's what we're aiming for. Right along that edge. What I recommend when you do this is it's all about your mindset. You're breathing. Don't hold your breath. You breathe, you focus intensely on where your needle is going. I mean, you really can't let it play. It has to be at the exact spot. And it can't be too much to this side over here. It really has to be a little more on this side, but you don't want it to be at 1/8 of an inch. It really, I mean, look, I have it like so razor right on. Consistency is key. And just make sure that you order enough of your fabric so that if you do screw it up, you see there is some play. So, I mean, the worst case scenario, y'all, is if you screw it up, you can go over, you can cover it a little bit, you know? So what if it's not 4 1/2? So what if it's 4 5/8? It's not the end of the world. That's what's magical about this. But you do want to make sure that you have enough material that if you need to cut another one of these pieces, you can do that. All right. It's not making mistakes that you need to worry about. It's being able to make it look perfect. Okay. So I'm going to leave you with that now, and I'm going to be back when I have these done, and then I'll sew the strap connector pieces on, and I'm going to do that on my Thor because I have the white thread on that. I'm not going to do that with the gold. Again, I'm not doing contrast on this. Okay, so it's that weird time of day again. I close the blinds too, so you get some shadows here. Oh, look at that, I put this on upside down. Oh my God, it's a good thing I noticed it. You get to see me fix this. All right, so these are sewn down. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the strap connectors on. First thing, oh my God. Okay, first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna measure 1.5 inches down, so you get to see me do this on both of them. I'm gonna mark 1.5 inches, 1.5 inches with the friction pen, okay? And then I place, let's see if I'm on, yeah, okay. Then I can eyeball this. God, I hope I can. If I put it upside down, God knows what's gonna happen next. Okay, eyeball this. I'm gonna place this in place. Okay, that's a little bit long there on this side. Now why? Okay, let me fix this one and then I'm gonna show you how I did it properly. get this. It's so hard to see if I'm on, there we go, right to the line. Get it centered. Okay, that's good, and it looks to be fairly even. It's a little bit on this side. Boy, it's hard when the light comes in like this at this time of day. I don't usually sew this time of day, to be honest. I'm usually upstairs. Okay, so this is how I do it, legit. All right, can I see it? Yeah, over here. Okay, good. So I take a little bit of this off, and I'm just 0 for 3. Strap connector. Okay. I'm going to put this down. This is going to be a temporary, because I'm just going to try to stick it on here and get the length. Right now we're just trying to get the length, okay? And it's a little long, so I'm going to bring it down just a little bit. Right now we're just getting this, whoop, now it's short. Lord. Okay, right here. This looks close. Yeah, that looks about right. Maybe just a little bit. Right there. Yeah. Okay. That's where I want it. Okay. So now this is, the back of this is too long. So I'm going to measure it. I want this to be 1.5 inches. Where's my friction print? So I measure this 1.5 inches. I'm going to mark that. Cut it off. There we go. Measure this again, see what it looks like. Beautiful. Take the tape off the back. Now I'm going to place it down the center. Eyeball this. Now I can eyeball this and I can tell that it's centered. But that's just because I've been doing this for 100 years. All right. I got the other one already done. This is ready to go. Now I'm going to take it over the Thor and I'm going to stitch 1/8 inch. I'm going to mark this probably either 3/4 of an inch. I mark it 3/4 of an inch. I end up having to put something underneath this to protect it. I may do it 1 inch down, so I stitch up this here, stitch across, and stitch down on both sides. Okay. Now, if you have problems with this coming out, you can always pull it in here. Pull these pieces in together. I do pretty good on it, but I mean, it's you know, it's a roll of the dice. So what you can do is you can go bring this and just mark it here at the 1 inch and come down, and you can put a rivet there, which I may do on this one. I just don't like getting that close to the hardware. This is some good hardware. So anyway, I think I may mark 1 inch down, come here, go across, and put a rivet here on each one just to reinforce. So I'll be back so you can see what that looks like. Okay, both pieces are done, and really pleased with the outcome. And And I recommend you practicing with that stitching along the edge. That's going to be the most challenging part. I got really lucky. I really did. Yeah. So, and remember, I didn't do this with a top. I just did this with that buttonhole thread, the Gutermann buttonhole thread. So I did pretty good with that, and it didn't need to stand out, but I did use the Tech 69 on the strap connector. You see how much larger that turned out with a bigger needle. So it turned out fine with me. And if you want to use a bold top stitching thread on this piece, that's fine too. Whatever works. I just happened to have the gold thread that matched. So yeah, so there we are. Just keep practicing. It's so important. There is no such thing as failure. You just make mistakes and you start again. The only time you really fail is when you give up. And we don't give up, do we? Yeah. So the next video is going to be the two-sided, I've got this folded together, the two-sided straps. I think I'm going to work on that for my next video. Also coming up is I've got a really cool rivet remover tool. Yes, I've had it for months, but I didn't know how to use it. Go figure. I've been using pliers and all kinds of stuff, but now I know how to use it, and I'll be sharing that with you too. Let me know if you're interested in that, because let me tell you, literally seconds to remove rivets. Yeah, so easy to use, and I had not been using it. So yeah, that's coming up too. So keep learning, and I'll see you next time.